Good evening, good afternoon, and good morning, boys and girls, depending on where you are around the freaking world. And hope everyone's having a blessed day and everyone's doing their best to stay absolutely strong through these tough freaking times. But of course, we are back again with another freaking video, and we'll be tackling Learning to Be Fearless. But before we get into that, boys and girls, please make sure you start off by hitting the freaking subscribe button. You know what I mean? Come on now, 10K. And at the same damn time, please make sure you smash the like button, you comment throughout, and you share the video at the end. Now, people. My donuts. This is a video that you have requested, you know what I mean? And you know what, guys? I had to do some digging, you know. Digging is something that I know, it's not something that I really do, but I had to do some more digging than normal because this is a video that's been highly requested. So requested that some of the videos that I've made before I've kind of been penalized for not coming in strong enough on Alex, because obviously there's a lot of people that have been following her for a very long time who have a lot of frustration and they want that to be, you know, to be exposed. And the frustration that we are going to be exposing today is the so-called surgery that Alex supposedly had, called penniculectomy. Penniculectomy. Yes, penniculectomy. I think I said it right. I really do, because boy, that word was hard. But yes, this is the surgery. Now, if you don't know what a penniculectomy is, it's a surgery that you have to remove fat from the lower part of your skin. So it's not the same as a tummy tuck. It's slightly kind of different. It's literally just removing fat and just removing skin from the lower part of your stomach, okay? To give you, you know, to obviously help that stomach kind of go in a little bit and not for it to bulge out so much, especially when you're wearing your clothes. And you know, it's crazy because I know in the videos that I've made, people have made comments in the comment section about this video wanting to be made, and at the same time this video has been highly requested in Discord as well. And yeah, so obviously I had to deliver, you know what I mean? And you know what, boys and girls, I said this once upon a time that I wasn't really too sure about it. That's why I never spoke about it beforehand. But after doing the research that I've been given, I believe that I'm now very sure about the answers I'm going to give to you. But one thing that I must say is that some people do say that Alex hovers around channels, you know, looking around to see what people are saying. And it's become very clear to me that I believe that she's definitely becoming very known to this channel, because when I went to do some digging, one of the first things that I found out was that I was blocked from her page, her Instagram page, Learn to Be Fearless. And I was like, why? What's there to hide? You know what I mean? Like, I mean, am I much of a threat? I mean, as far as I'm concerned, any video that I've made about her hasn't been necessarily hasn't been directed in a way where I've tried to bash her. I've made videos where, you know, I've been trying to give her advice on what maybe she could do better, and maybe, you know, why she's potentially losing traction from the people that obviously follow her for so many years, and why her numbers are so low. That's all I've done. I've given advice, but to go out and block me tells me that you're definitely hiding something. And maybe it's time I take the gloves off. You know what I mean? Because I definitely didn't want to go into the situation as if I was ready just to attack the girl, as if I have some ridiculous hate for her, because I don't. I really don't. Do you know what I mean? I don't have energy to hate anyone. Do you know what I mean? But I definitely have energy to expose certain people's behaviors if it's impacting other people's lives. Because when you're an influencer and you're impacting other people's lives, you know, it's important that you get called out. You know what I mean? Especially when there's a big community of people that are heavily frustrated, which is why we're here today. So therefore, the gloves are off, boys and girls, okay? And do I believe that she had this penniculectomy? God, that's gonna be a meme, isn't it? That'll be my first meme, to be fair. Sorry, I played too much. Okay, penniculectomy, okay, boys and girls. And do I believe that she had one? Absolutely, yes. Was after looking into this information and obviously having my own minions, obviously, you know, search around and obviously give me the pictures that I was looking for to make sure that I can deliver this video with enough evidence as possible to make sure that it's clear that she has. I have been given that evidence, you know what I mean? So therefore, we're gonna head over to my screenshots that obviously have been presented towards me, that also have the dates as well of why I'm going to back up the statement that I believe that she most certainly did have this penniculectomy surgery. Now, if I head over here, boys and girls, as you can see, let me just disappear for real quick. As you can see here, boys and girls, this is a picture that was taken by Alex, okay? And this picture was taken by her in July the 4th, okay? July the 4th, 2019. Now, obviously, when it comes to the surgery itself, the penniculectomy, people say that if she had it, she must have had it around October time. Why October time though? Because around the October time was a time when Alice kind of started posting certain posts about how she was how she was in hospital and how she wasn't feeling well. And then obviously once she came out of hospital, you know what I mean, and started doing her thing again, she basically said that she had lost some weight, and that's how obviously her stomach had obviously, you know, disappeared, you know what I mean, had flattened itself down. But of course, people have always wondered, how can that be possible if the rest of your body's still looking a bit big, you know what I mean? Now, boys and girls, you know, just going back to the image itself at hand, the one I've just shown you here, okay, boys and girls, as you can see, this is back in July, July the 4th. Now, people, one thing that I want to show you now is something that happened soon after July the 4th, okay? This is something that happened on July the what do you call it? The 30th, 2019. Let me just bring that up a little bit so you can see it. There you go. Now, one thing that I want you to notice in this picture, as well as the picture beforehand as well, is the bulge. If you can see here, obviously she has the bulge underneath her stomach, you know what I mean? Sadly, you cannot see my mouse because I had it hidden for some bizarre reason. But anyway, as you can see, obviously, where her short jeans, obviously, you can see that her gut is obviously, you know, coming through her jeans. So therefore, you know she's got a bulge going on. Do you know what I mean? And also the same thing is shown in this picture too. And also, the jeans that she's wearing here, you know what I mean? Obviously, this is in the same month, just a couple of days apart, you know what I mean? And again, you can see the bulge, obviously, within her stomach, okay? Now, again, this is in July, okay? Now, obviously, in October is the time when people said, you know what, we feel like something is a bit off. We feel like, you know, as if, you know, this girl has potentially had this surgery. So therefore, you know, it brings us to October, okay? One of the first posts that she made in October, you know, which definitely says a lot of things, was this post. This post was made, you know, on October the 31st, okay? Just have a look at it right then. As you can see, this bulge, this imaginary stomach had just disappeared, you know what I mean? But to be fair, boys and girls, not only did it disappear, guys, I'm going to show you another post. This is taken on the same day, okay? This one is from the side, as you can see, okay? As you can see, this bulge has become non-existent, you know what I mean? But of course, you can still see her arms, you know, obviously are still at a certain size, which obviously doesn't mean that she hasn't lost weight, because your arms can take time depending on your body. Same as her back fat, obviously it can take time. So, you know, it's not something we could ever penalize her for still having back fat and obviously, you know, and arms, you know what I mean? It's not a big deal, you know what I mean, to pick on that. So we're not going to pick on that, right? But of course, boys and girls, that was obviously back in July, okay? No, so that was in October now. So now we're going to move on to November, okay? Now, November comes across, people, and as you can see, this bulge that she once upon a had had now disappeared. It has material. Look, it's here, okay? Okay, remember? This is July, okay? And all of a sudden, boom, it's gone. It's like, whoa, okay, what is going on here? Because end of the day, when we look at the size of the woman itself in particular, there hasn't been a difference in her size at all. Remember, this is in November 2019. Meanwhile, this picture itself is obviously in July 2019. And in fact, if you look at her legs as well, look at the shape of her legs compared to the shape of her legs in this picture here. And look, if you look properly, the legs in her are definitely bigger in this image here. You could say maybe it's the angle, but to be honest with you, when it comes to Alex and her angles are pretty much quite similar all the time anyway, so I can't see an angle making a difference. So therefore, if you ask me, boys and girls, you know, it's clear that she's had something done, because in this one, she's got a bulge, but her legs are slightly slimmer, okay? If anything, her face as well is also slightly slimmer as well, but sometimes it's a hit or miss situation because of makeup, you know what I mean? But again, you can see evidence is here that she's obviously slimmer in her face, slimmer within her legs, but the bulge is there. This is obviously in July. But then when we go all the way back to November, all of a sudden, those legs are definitely looking a whole lot more bigger, and obviously her facial structure from the side, obviously this is a side picture, as you can see, she's still got some weight on her face as well anyway. So therefore, it makes you wonder, you know, how is this possible? How can you lose weight on your stomach only, but then the rest of your body is still looking very suspect, if you dig what I'm saying, boys and girls, okay? But then we also had the conspiracy about Alex and photoshopping, you know what I mean, okay? Now, photoshopping isn't something I'm going to speak on about. I'm not going to speak on it too much, but you know, we then had this picture here of her back in the shorts in June, okay, 2020, okay? And as you can see, the bulge is still very much alive, but it's not as alive as it was before. But as you can see here, boys and girls, if you look at obviously her facial structure, as you can see, her facial structure still looks as if it has actually grown. It doesn't look like she has slimmed down in form whatsoever. But to be honest with you, I do believe that in this moment in time, I believe that she had put weight back on, to be honest with you. Hence the reason why the bulge obviously, no. Let me backtrack. No, I do not believe that she'd put weight back on. I believe she'd continue to put weight on anyway after this procedure, you know what I mean? Hence the reason why the bulge is now starting to return. To be fair, this picture's earlier than this, you know, I can imagine that obviously had shown more, but as you can see here, it's clear today that obviously her face had obviously got bigger. Her bulge is obviously reappearing again, you know what I mean? Obviously, arguably maybe even her legs as well, but we won't comment on that one because obviously this is her in jean shorts, not necessarily jeans itself in particular. But again, if we go all the way back to this picture here, that was in basically the year before, at least 11 months beforehand anyway, you can see her face then was actually slightly more slimmer. And as we've obviously noticed, that's been very suspect about her journey is that you know, she's always gained weight over the years. She's always gained weight. Even those times when she spoke about, oh, I just lost 40 pounds, or I just lost this and that. There's always a part where all of a sudden, you know, she's gained about 75 pounds. You know what I mean? To 100, you know what I mean? To 100 pounds. You know what I mean? It's always that gain. That's always outweighing the losses that she claims to have. And the matter of the fact is, when it comes to these losses, the proof is not really in the pudding. And realistically, when it comes to the weight gain, the proof is pretty much in the freaking pudding. If you dig what I'm saying, you know what I mean? That is an English saying, so you may not get that. But you get what I'm saying. I'm sure within the content I'm saying that comment in, you can understand where I'm trying to go with this. But of course, boys and girls, those are just, you know, the pictures of obviously, you know, that I've seen here. But then there's also the pictures that were sent to me to begin with when I was first told to look into the situation. Okay. And the first pictures that I was sent with, boys and girls, was actually this one. Now, this is the first picture that was sent to me initially. Okay. And obviously here you can see her gut, you know what I mean? Now, obviously, I don't know when this picture was made itself in particular, but obviously you can see then she had quite, you know, she obviously, you know, her gut was quite big at the time, do you know what I mean? So for her gut to disappear, but then the rest of her body to still prove to be big, is very suspect. You don't go from losing this gut to also having, you don't go from losing this type of gut to still having your face looking the way it was looking before, and her arms still getting bigger and bigger, if you know what I mean? And that's the problem that we have at hand here, you know what I mean? Let's forget about obviously what's set up top. I know obviously, oh no, sorry, let's not forget about it, sorry. But obviously what it says here clearly is that I'm a big underbelly girl, like you used to be. Can you please tell me how you fixed that? And obviously her response was, to be honest, I've been really back into the fitness the last few months, and the weight I've lost recently has been in my stomach for most part. I'm also wearing spandex in this video, so it's interesting. It's interesting that she comes out with this response to this fan of hers. You know what I mean? Which is very, very interesting. But at the end of the day, is that comment honest? Is that comment honest? To be honest, you boys and girls, there's no way in hell that comment could be honest, because you can't just lose weight in your gut, but then your arms are still growing. Even her chest, her breast area is still growing, you know what I mean? And obviously the facial structure is still growing. So how can you lose weight in your stomach? And to be honest, you boys and girls, anybody that knows about losing weight, okay, you know that when you losing weight in your stomach, it can be one of the hardest parts. And most importantly, you know, we all know about how the skin gets as well, obviously, when we lose weight, especially if we're someone who's had a gut like that. But of course, boys and girls, which brings me to the last picture. And again, this picture was also one of the first pictures that was sent to me. And this last picture here is the comparison. Let me just disappear one more time for you boys and girls. Now obviously this is how we have a final confirmation. Now obviously we got this picture here of herself on the left. Okay, I'm not too sure the difference of the dates on these pictures, but of course the picture of her on the left, let's look at her belly button area. If you look at her belly button area in this picture on the left, it's obviously looking how it would normally, obviously, if you're someone that's put weight on, do you know what I mean? And then obviously you look on the right and you look at the belly button, all of a sudden it's a whole lot more circular. It's like, how does that happen? How does your belly button just lose shape just like that? Especially if you're putting weight on, do you know what I mean? Usually it's going to get covered more and more, you know what I mean? And obviously if you're losing weight, maybe your belly button will show a bit more, not necessarily, because sometimes your loose skin can still keep your belly button looking the way it looks like on the left. And to be honest, for your belly button to look the way it does on your right, you're probably going to have to be someone that's never really put weight on that much anyway. And even if you had, it means you would have had surgery, because that's what happens to your belly button after you've had surgery. So therefore, when you look at the belly button situation here in itself in particular, as point number one, it definitely tells me that she's had this surgery, and there's no way you can deny that. Absolutely not. But then let's look at the other aspect of this picture. Again, the picture on the left is the one that's obviously beforehand, because you can see she's obviously a slightly more younger. And obviously you can see that she's slightly more thinner, which is obviously the suspect part. Now we know she's not someone who's ever had like a boob job, you know what I mean? So because we know she hasn't had one, it is interesting that all of a sudden, you know, her chest area has grown, you know, so much more on the right hand side, but is so much more less on the left hand side, which is also another suspect. And again, we look at the facial structure as well. You can clearly see that her face is, even though she has no makeup, her face is a whole lot more round, obviously on the left, on the right, you know what I mean, compared to the left. So again, that's another evidence that she's put weight on while she's also had this surgery, which is obviously clearly a waste of money. She had it, but then, you know, you're still putting weight on. Like, anyway, that's another conversation anyway, boys and girls, okay? So let's not get too much into that one anyway. And also, boys and girls, as you can see, her arms, obviously her arms are not exposed as much, but again, you can pretty much see by her shoulders, you can see how her shoulders have got wider apart from obviously her head, obviously in the picture on the right. But then if we look at the picture on the left, obviously her shoulders are a bit more closer into obviously the neck area, you know what I mean? So the fact that that she's gotten wider as well is also another thing that's very, very suspect. And also, if you look down below as well, if you look at her the part obviously where she's wearing her knickers, okay, obviously you can see on the left there where she's wearing her black knickers. If you look at her legs as well, can you just see obviously with her legs, like how her legs are obviously coming in a bit more, you know what I mean? And obviously the stomach is coming forward a bit more. But then obviously if you look on the other side now, on the right hand side, you can see that her legs are kind of coming out a bit more wider as well, which is again more evidence that she's put more weight on, do you know what I mean? Unless she had a secret BBL, which she clearly did not, if you know what I mean. So it's clear to me that she definitely had this you know, the surgery, this penniculectomy. And the reason why it's important to point this out, boys and girls, like I say, there's always something to learn from this information. The reason why this is so important to point out, and I guess this message is more to, I would say it's more to Alex's little minions, you know what I mean? I mean, it's to her too, but I'm going to say her minions because they love to come here and say their business, you know what I mean, as they do. But all I want to say is this, right? How can you continuously follow someone that tells you that they lost weight by fitness, but clearly there's no evidence that is there that proves it? If anything, you know, when you look at the situation at hand, there is far much more evidence to prove that she lost weight due to the fact that she had surgery. Okay, can you not see it? Please put your glasses on. Okay, if you're from the UK, you will know what I'm about to say. You should have gone to Specsavers. Obviously, that's a saying that we have here in the UK. You know what I mean? When someone isn't using their eyes properly, there's a shop called Specsavers, opticians. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, get the joke. But either way, boys and girls, either way. All I'm trying to say is that you know, I came into this situation with Alex because obviously she was recommended to me to look into, do you know what I mean? I looked into her, and my initial approaches were very much, you know, I mean, my opinion, I was being polite, you know what I mean? I was giving her the benefit of the doubt. I wasn't trying to penalize her. I wasn't trying to say, oh, hey, you are this and that. I was trying to say, Alex, just so you know, people are concerned about X, Y, Z. And you just haven't, and you've been ignoring X, Y, Z. So therefore, now, God unblock me for what reason? I don't know. It's maybe for like, maybe there is something that you're hiding, and it looks to me that this is definitely one of those things that maybe you didn't want me to come across. But clearly, as much as you have minions, I have minions too, and I can only thank my donuts, you know what I mean? My donuts are my donuts, they're not my minions, but they're my donuts, if you know what I mean. But either way, boys and girls, either way, I do not actually take any pleasure in making this video, I really don't, but at the end of the day, it is actually quite upsetting that someone actually goes out of their way to continuously lie to the audience, you know what I mean, and it doesn't want to be honest, because to be honest with you, I know she flickers from the whole body positivity community, yeah, you know, she goes up and down, whatever, but to be honest with you, I don't see why your subscribers would have been so hurt if you just said, listen guys, you know, I went and had a little bit of surgery because, you know, it was playing me up, it was on my mind, you know what I mean? It was a recurring thing, and I just felt like I just wanted to get it done, you know, but she didn't do that. She just went and got it done, claimed to be in hospital, which obviously she was, but obviously for opposite reasons, and then came out and said, hey guys, yeah, so I was just working out. It's very, very sad, you know, especially with some of the stories that I've heard offline, you know what I mean, about the way she's influenced young girls and how the young girls have been they've just been devastated when they've noticed that when they've tried to follow what Alex is doing and it hasn't worked out for them. The way these girls are being broken down is crazy. I mean, honestly, the amount of mental health, the amount of people that are now going into kind of this depression zone or this anxiety zone or that just a general mental health because they've been following Alex and they've been trying to do what she does, but then it turns out it's not working for them. Now, it doesn't mean it's Alex's fault, but if she's lying on the way, then obviously it makes it her fault. If she was telling the truth the whole way and her ideas didn't work with other people, then that's a different conversation. But the matter of the fact is, when these people approach her, what does she do? She blocked them. She blocks them. And you know what? It's clearly evident she blocks people that she doesn't see fit to be talking about her or see fit in any kind of way, because I'm living proof. If you know what I'm, okay, let me not say that. As everyone tells me off for saying, you know what I'm saying. Let me not say that. You know what I mean? Yeah. Anyway, boys and girls, I've made my point. Let me stop there before I continue to go around in circles, because I do that a lot. I guess that's just a Libra thing. But either way, boys and girls, please let me know your thoughts in the comment section, okay? If there's anything you believe that I missed out, please put it down in the comment section. And of course, there is still more things to come that obviously people have said to me, oh, Maddie, you need to address this as well. And you know what? Like I said, the gloves are off, you know what I mean? It's clear. I just said it again. The gloves are off, clearly because, you know, when you block someone, it means you're hiding something, you know what I mean? And it's sad. But at the end of the day, boys and girls, no matter how I approach my videos, it's always going to be in a respectful manner. believe that, you know what I mean? I'm never going to name call out in any kind of way, you know what I mean? I don't do that whatsoever, and I just said it again because I'm a complete plonker, but it is what it is. But thank you so much for your time, boys and girls. I will look forward to seeing what you guys have to say in the comment section, and I'm pretty sure people are going to be going wild in the Discord as well, so I'll see you there too. But with that being said, thanks so much for your time, and subscribe if you're new. Peace. Like the video.